Hi, I'm Veronica. Today I'm going to use a texture medium. I'm just taking some out of the jar with my palette knife. I'm going to take a fairly good amount out because I want to cover the entire surface of this board. I'm also going to mix licorice. I'm going to take my palette knife and I'm going to mix the paint in with the texture medium. I can drag. I don't want to get too thick, but the whole idea of doing this is to make this project look old. So I'm just giving it some texture, and I'll smooth it out more in that area as well. And the reason being is when I go to put the transfer medium on, it needs a fairly tight seal because otherwise the photograph won't transfer to the board. Off my palette knife. Take some texture medium right from the jar. This amount of texture medium that I'm using is I'm building it up probably about 1/8 of an inch, I would say. It doesn't have to be too smooth. It can be kind of rough. I'm just going to let this set up for a little bit. A photograph that I'm going to put on it. Ripping the paper backwards. I don't want to rip the opposite way with the white facing me, because what will happen is I will get white edges on the photograph. I'm ripping this so it will look older. So once I've got that ready, that picture will go in there once that dries. I think this should be okay now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my stamps in. Before I do anything, I'm going to put some pressure on the stamp just so that the letter will push in. The other thing is it's best to peel these up. Some of them are a little more difficult than others, but there it is. It's got the grooves in that. On the computer, I just printed out some a font that I liked and printed it off, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace it. Now that my texture paste is dry, I'm going to take vanilla frosting paint with a 2-inch brush, and I'm just going to lightly go over it. Not so that it's solid, it's more like a wash type. On the colored section, I'm going to put in some licorice. So it's got the back behind it. Over it again with the vanilla frosting. I'm going to put that aside, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the transfer medium, and I'm going to put it on the front of the photograph. When you do a transfer medium, you need to make sure that you get a photocopy of a, not an inkjet printer, but I believe a laser copy. And I'll get a fairly good thick layer on. As you can see, I'm putting a thick amount on. Once you have the medium on, then you put your photograph on, and you place it where you'd like it to be, a credit card or something of the same, and you're going to smooth all the edges out. Bubbles need to come out, because if there's bubbles in there, it won't seal and won't transfer. What I'm going to do now, while waiting for this to dry, it's going to take a couple hours, I'm going to trace the lettering so that I can come back and paint it. While waiting for your transfer medium to dry, paint your letters. So you wet it down with water, and then once it's fully wet, I'm going to rub the paper off of the photograph. Sand the edges of the image lightly and wipe off any grit. Then apply a wash of watered down belt buckle metallic cream. I just want to show you the finished product. So it's all completed. The only thing left that I will do now is I will protect it with a coat of Tough Coat, which is here. And of course you stir the Tough Coat prior to doing it, and just take it off so I don't waste any of it. And from there I'll tip my brush in and I will just put on a coat.